disconnected.
Good morning, everybody. I'm taking the Africa Twin out this morning and thought I'd go do a little back roads and just try this thing out, see how it does with the factory tires on the gravel. Of course, right now I'm not on gravel, this is chip and seal, but it is actually loose. You gotta be careful because it's fresh chip and seal, and especially between the tire tracks there's a hump of gravel, and boy, you gotta watch it. But that's even on it, pretty much anything, you better be careful on that stuff. But I want to try it on the gravel and see how this thing actually does with the stock tires. It may be worthless, I don't know. I can't imagine it being the worst, you know. I've rode on bald tires before. But man, it's such a nice morning, except for it, hopefully it don't rain on me. Got 145 miles on this thing. I just took it for a little spin yesterday after I got it home from Honda shop in Springfield. Went down around Rowan River State Park and made a little loop. But I'm sure it'll be fine on the gravel. I mean, it has to be, because if it's going to be my bike, it's going to have to go on back roads. And, you know, people's talking about lots of comments on my first video there. I'm still in the dual sport market. I mean, this is, to me, this is, I guess it's classed as an adventure bike, but it's actually a if you watch the big reviews and the shootouts, they say if you're a dual sport person, you can check out the BMW, the KTM, all those bikes. But if you're a dual sport bike transitioning, said you will really love this bike here, the Africa Twin, because it is so close to a dual sport bike. To me, it actually is a dual sport bike. Closer than it is to the adventure market. The only difference is, the nice part about this bike is, when I want to go on a longer trip, it won't be no problem at all. And on the 250L, it was a super bike. Super. I love that bike. The only problem was, if me and my wife wanted to go on a long trip, say to Springfield from my house, which is about 70 miles, or Branson, it was just unreal. I mean, it was just absolutely just not comfortable enough to do it. Even with the seat concept seat helped a ton, but it was still like you're riding a dirt bike, you know, on a long trip. But running back and forth to work, back roads, they ain't nothing better in my opinion than the CRF1000L. Actually, this thing's doing great on the gravel so far. I'm doing one-handed, not even paying attention, but it seems fine so far. But, yeah, when you take that 250L and want to go on a long ways, we like to go to Ponca, Arkansas, which is about a 2-hour ride. We actually have never rode there. We've always drove the truck, and we'll put the bike in the back of the CRF in the back of the truck, and we would haul it down there because it was just too much, you know. And it's not all the seat either. The problem with the 250L was the length of the seat. Me sitting on it, my wife sitting on it, well, I'm scooted plumb up to the gas tank, you know, for her to fit, and the rack is the PMR rack I had on there was kind of hitting her in the rear because it's just not enough room. This thing here has a ton of room, and the seat is huge on this thing. So it's just going to be a lot nicer when we go down places like that, or if we go visit my daughter, which is down in Oklahoma. It's about an 1.5 to 2-hour ride. And I also got the panniers, the Africa Twin panniers, the Honda ones. And I actually wasn't in the market for the Honda set. I was going to wait. but the other ones are so expensive. Excuse me, I missed a gear. The other ones are so expensive, but they offered such a deal at Honda the Ozarks on those panniers that I just couldn't turn it down. You know, with the key locks and all to go in it, so they're going to be handy to, you know, put clothes and stuff in when we go on a trip like that. And the one pannier on the left side is big enough you can actually put a helmet in it. I kid you not, this is so similar to the CRF1000. It really is. Yeah, there's more weight. People think of weight as, oh, that's a horrible thing, your bike's so heavy. But I'm telling you, most time once you're moving, that weight is something that don't matter, because when you're rolling, the weight don't affect you. You know, it's when you stop, you know, that's when you're trying to hold one up. Oh, shut up, dog. There's a pit bull. He never has bit me, but he acts like he'd like to, but I can tell right now this traction control it don't stay set when you turn the bike off, turn it back on. It has, I guess, 3 positions and then off, and it automatically goes back to the 3rd position there. So the traction control, which will keep the back tire from spinning on loose gravel and stuff, it kind of just, it messes with the firing, the ignition system is what it does, because I tried it, and what it does when you rev the throttle and try to spin out the tire, instead of the tire slipping, which it will slip some, but the bike kind of, it sounds like a rev limiter, it starts missing. And then if you hold this lever right here, which is for your traction control, there's a little lever up here for your finger, and if you hold it over to the left, you watch that light come on, that turns the traction control off. And now if you get on it, it's a fire breathing dragon, buddy. I actually done a wheelie. It wasn't on video, but I kind of played around and gassed it and done a wheelie. I tried it without the traction, with the traction control on, and it kind of wanted to do that missing a little bit. But you turn that traction control off, you better hang on, because this thing will get it, and I mean now. These tires are doing absolutely fine on the gravel. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be as good as motocross tires or those tractionators that I had on the CRF1000L. Those tractionators was awesome. But as far as just staying in your line, riding gravel roads, it's doing just fine. And on the highway, they are awesome tires. They do a wonderful job on the highway. I didn't really carve corners hard, but you can lay it into corners pretty good. I'm not a knee dragger like a person on a crotch rocket, you know. Well, I tell you, this gear indication thing is nice, knowing what gear you're in. It's as far as comparison, you get on the throttle on this dude, there's no comparison to the 250. I mean, it'll stretch your arms out and it's gone like a rocket. This is pretty back in this back road here. I love coming this way. It's going to start cooling down for long. The leaves has actually been starting to fall off, like the elm trees and the walnuts. The walnuts a little bit, mostly elms. I see a lot of leaves falling off the elms. So it won't be long. Boys, if fall will be here, things are going to change. I'm not a winter person. I love fall. I don't like the one of my worst things about winter is the time change. It's ridiculous. Here in this part of, you know, the country, Missouri anyway, we have the time change. Well, I get off work at 3:30, but it's 5:30, it's dark, which is kind of you know, kind of stupid. If they leave the time alone or leave it where we could the other way, it would get dark at 6:30. At least you got a little time to do something. But it is what it is. And just I'm not into freezing. I mean, I can, when it's hot out in summer, as long as I'm riding, I feel good. I'm not that bad. I get a little hot if you stop. Hey man, we're taking this sucker through some mud now, and this actually is pretty slick right up here because there's a lot of the gravel's gone. It's all mud come to the top, and this little creek bottom here. But I'm not running through here like I'm on a CRF1000L or nothing. Actually, I never owned a CRF1000. I've had CR250s. Never owned one of the 4-stroke racers. That was after my time when I quit the dirt bikes. There's a lot of things that people don't realize with tires, as about how they think it helps. They make different tires for different types of terrain, yeah. But if you got knobby tires, because I've run them all, you know, knobby tires, street tires, knobby tires that are bald, it don't matter. And you're out in the woods, you're in wet stuff, like slick logs and stuff, it doesn't matter. You can go down just as fast with a brand new set of knobbies, because a slick old log ain't like the rubber tires are going to bite into the wood and catch traction. It's still slick, and you go right on your head before you know it. But in the same way out here on the gravel roads, you can have a big old giant set of knobbies, and when you're on this stuff here, okay, yeah, you got more traction, no doubt, better. And but now if you get in some real deep loose gravel, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's still, the thing's just, there's no grip. The tires are not biting into something solid to hang on to, and the gravel rolls underneath the tire, and you still go down. I've been down on corners in gravel. You know, you think you're invincible. I get a little dirt on this brand new bike today, riding it on these dirt roads, but hey, I'm actually glad. I was kind of leery about taking it the first ride out on the gravel, thinking, oh boy, what am I going to get myself into? You know, them tires are going to suck, but they're actually doing great. Dale said his done a good job. I'm sure they're not like big adventure tires, but as long as you use common sense. A lot of it has to do with, like I say, is not the tires all only. It's the bike, the power, the I'm sure the traction control would actually help on gravel. And the suspension on this bike, it's still a dual sport. This thing has like motocross suspension on it. It's just not made for giant jumps. But I can tell you one thing. On wheeling this bike, when I wheelied it yesterday, this suspension soaks up the weight, and this is a lot more weight than the 250L. This suspension soaks it up a lot better than that 250. You can bottom that 250 pretty good. I haven't actually jumped this bike yet, but I've seen people jump them, and they handle it a lot better than that 250. And the front and rear suspension is fully adjustable. Compression, dampening, the rebound, and everything is fully adjustable on this bike. On the 250, you have nothing. I mean, you can crank the rear spring up, but by tightening the spring, but that's it. Go up over this clay mud hill here. I'm actually really impressed. It's clay mud, but there's a lot of rock on top. I'm actually impressed on these tires. I think they're doing great. Now, hopefully you don't see me down on my... What's that, squirrel? He can make up his mind what he wants to do. Hopefully I say that, and then you don't see me laying on my side here in a little bit. I doubt it. don't forget, an ugly third grader can do this. If you watch my video of that, I made a video of an ugly third grader can do that, and we was out riding Blake and Kevin in the woods, and we came upon this log that's off the ground. It's not a log laying on the ground, which is a lot more difficult. Some of them ain't so bad because they're solid. Well, this log had some flex to it, and so when I hit that log, I thought Blake and Kevin wasn't gonna do it. I thought, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna pass this up. Well, I did all right. Usually you can hit it with your wheelie, and then your frame will hit it, and then your back tire will hit it. You go right on over the log. Well, when I did it, I wheelied, my frame hit it. Well, the linkage, I'm sure, is what happens. I've had it happen before. You got the link on the suspension hanging down. It caught the log, so my rear tire never hit the log. Well, of course, I'm way off the ground. I mean, there's no way to touch the ground because the log's up that high, and I just fall over. So much for me bragging about the ugly third grader can do it, but you have to check that video out. Well, this is actually I'm pretty impressed. Like I say, I think this bike's gonna do fine on gravel road. I may get some adventure tires later, but I'm gonna wear these out first. So I appreciate y'all watching my videos through the life of the CRF1000L. The whole life of that CRF1000L is on my YouTube channel, and like I say, 250L is not out of the question, you know, for the future. I think that I may end up with another CRF1000L. Right now, it just wasn't a good time. I wanted the bike to go on longer trips, yet still do this back road stuff, but I wanted something to go on longer trips, so I decided to make the decision, and I haven't regretted it yet. I will miss the 250L, but making 2 payments, yeah, I could have done it, but you can get yourself into payments and, you know, pay yourself to death on stupid stuff. So I decided, whatever, you know, my 250L had 17,000 miles on it, had a blast. That was a great bike. I traded it off, and you know, if I get another one in the future, I done good on that bike. I done good on the trade-in. They gave me a great deal. So if I get another one in the future, I'm still not going to be out that much, and I'll start out with another brand new bike, you know, start all over again. So anyway, I really appreciate y'all watching Woodzman Dual Sport Adventure and Survival. We got lots more videos coming up of Africa Twin, some other CRF250. Now, if you see some CRF250L videos, you're going to see some. Doesn't mean I went back and got the CRF250L. It means I've got some of my older videos I'm still got to post. So I have a lot of people do that. I will, like when I had the FMF pipe on there, I'd switch a video up from an older one, and they're like, "Did you put your stock pipe back on?" So anyway, I've got more survival stuff, camping, and the Hennessy hammock stuff, and survival videos coming up. So I got a trip planned with Dale. Me and him want to go on a Africa Twin adventure camp out with the Hennessy hammocks. I think it's going to be awesome, and we're going to, of course, we'll video all of it for you guys. So check out Heartland Dual Sport too. He's got a great channel. He's got an Africa Twin. He's got the silver one. He's part of the reason I got this, so you can blame him. But I thank you all for all the, you know, the congrats you've been giving me and everything. Please click the thumbs up on this video and all my videos. Click subscribe if you're not a subscriber. It's not just like you think. You really need to be a subscriber. It helps me out. It helps the channel grow. The comments and everything. So be a subscriber so you can make comments on here. Just join up on YouTube, sign up, and be a subscriber. Click the thumbs up, post comments. I love answering the questions. So, but I thank y'all, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.